about 75% of the labor that I'm accustomed to having on my jobs. We're having to get by with less, and it, you know, there's not a project in this region that isn't behind schedule. It's just everybody's robbing Peter to pay Paul as far as labor, and it's a real challenge. During the recession, a lot of the labor either retired, left the market. You know, a lot of the senior management staff retired, and it's a real challenge. So obviously we have a lot of construction going on in the area. You know, you go downtown, you see a lot of buildings going up and everything, and you see some of these buildings, and it's like they've been under construction seemingly forever, and it's really because of the difficulty with the labor. On top of that, with Aria, these are all custom residences. We've, you know, at $4 million a piece, people want what they want. So we've had to work closely with these buyers to try to, as best we could, to accommodate their dream. And that takes away the normal workflow that you typically have in these buildings. And you have that coupled with the shortage of labor, it's a real challenge. I would have liked to have been done with this building back in the fall, frankly. But you know, with those challenges, you know, it is what it is. But our commitment to our buyers is to deliver them a quality residence and without compromise. So that's, and to the last one, they've been very patient, frankly. But,
Jay?
yep.
You do beautiful work, congratulations. I saw on City Side project there, that you had some very nice landscape buffer, along the street side. And I've been perplexed in recent developments downtown on their building codes. And I do not understand how they allow, like the View, this huge building to be slapped right up on a major intersection with no landscape buffer. Up on Fruitville, those people that walk out of those townhouses, you walk out the door and you get hit by a car.
Well,
So I don't understand how they allow that.
And that's a real hot button of mine as well. I live in this community, and I love architecture and design, and I've had a real frustration as well. It goes back to the code change, the zoning code change that occurred back in the early 2000s. Andres Duani, a very well-respected architect and planner from South Florida, came and consulted with the town, or with the city of Sarasota on making changes to the zoning code. And it's generally referred to as the Duani plan. And I mean, there's a lot of valid things that were incorporated into the zoning code at the time that encouraged pedestrian-friendly design standards. But one of the things that I really never got comfortable with was somehow he felt by moving buildings up close to the right-of-way and close to the sidewalks that encouraged pedestrian-friendly behavior. For instance, the View project, that was really approved back prior to the downturn as a different project. The new developer that took over that property, Coulter, basically just modified that plan, but were able to basically build to those standards from the prior regime there. And you know, I think it was such a missed opportunity to have that massive of a building moved that close to the right-of-way. I always envisioned the trail there going north from the bayfront as being an esplanade, where you would have a wide landscaped, you know, area that with sidewalks and everything that would basically be the entry to Sarasota and our beautiful bayfront. And
It's not right up to the sidewalk, it's over the sidewalk.
Exactly. exactly. So, you know, Steve and Susan, who have to deal with the governmental side of things, I'm sure they can appreciate that once something goes in, is codified, it is what it is, unfortunately. Fortunately or unfortunately, it is what it is. The people at the city, many of whom probably ultimately disagreed with it, that's what they had to work with. And that was the rights of the developer to come in and build. Now, I don't like it, and sometimes that kind of thing happens, unfortunately. But you know, with city side, that building's right up to the right of way, you know, and I did everything I could to try to create landscape, you know, to buffer that. And we'll do, you know, as good a job as we can with that, but we have very little to work with, because that's kind of how the code works for that type of product. And so, it's something that we all have to deal with.
Is there any pressure to change the code for future development? Down there?
Well, they're going through a change in the code right now, actually. They're going to a form-based type code, and I know that that's being discussed, some of those provisions. But I have to say, though, before I finish here, that I can't say enough, and it's not because there's a couple staff members sitting here. I can't say enough about how wonderful it's been working on Longboat Key and working with the town staff. They are always there to work with us, not against us. If we've got a problem, we sit down, we work through it. I think there's a relationship of common trust, and they know that I'm gonna do everything I can to deliver a quality product. And at the same time, I understand that they have certain codes and requirements that they have to live within, and they have to guard. And so we work together to try to create wonderful projects like Aria that hopefully will enhance the community. I mean, I live in the Sarasota area. I've raised my kids here. I have to drive by these buildings all the time. So I want something that I could be proud of, and that the community as a whole